Welcome to another edition of KZAR Spotlight of the Month. I'm your host, KZAR Coleman, and I'm here today with a special guest. When we come back, we'll be joining that guest.
Even though there is so much against us, you will see me wearing a face covering.
And even with my face covered,
you will see me
as a son,
as a friend to everyone I meet,
as a fighter for change,
as a woman who stands up for what I believe in.
So join me in wearing a face covering
to help stop the spread of the coronavirus.
Because this is one small act of kindness that has the power to bring us all together.
We're back here today with my special guest, author, actress, and entrepreneur, Miss Kathi Muhammad. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay. So you got actress, you got author, you have entrepreneur. Talk to me a little bit about the actress part.
All right. That's something that I really enjoy quite a bit. And I started out 3 years ago. I did the research. I found a really great talent agent. Okay. And right now I am taking acting classes via Zoom. And also I have a studio in my house where I've set up for self-taping. And I've been submitting quite a bit of self-tapes.
So how did you get into acting? What inspired you to get into it?
Well, I've always loved acting, even since the 6th grade when I had written a screenplay, and I also starred in a play that I produced.
Wow.
Yes, and so when I was in high school, I took drama. I was in the drama club, and in college, I wanted to major in fine arts, but my parents said, no, you major in something where you can get a job. Mm-hmm. So I got a job, and when I retired, I decided that I wanted to act. So I did the research, found a great talent agent, and started toward my dream of acting.
Cool. So what are some of the projects that you've worked on?
Oh, I've worked on The Enemy Within. I've worked on it was with the Center for Disease Control on a quit line.
Okay.
I've worked on
kind of like industrial videos
and some movies like The Available Wife, and I was on your movie too.
Oh yeah, Zeke the Awakening.
Yeah, The Awakening, and I've done commercials. And I've done a play. I did a play in January, and it was a sold-out play called When Boys Exhale, and we were going to have another run of it in April, but because of COVID, that was put on hold.
Yeah, that COVID-19 kind of shut things down just a little bit.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about, your book.
Yes. Well, I've been actually a co-author for 2 books. My first book that I co-authored was called Daily Doses of Declaration, and a group of women put that collaboration together on ways to what you want to declare for your life.
Okay.
And my second book, it hasn't come out yet, but it's with an organization that I love dearly called Sister for Sisters Network, and it just talks about how that organization has made all the individuals in the book grow. So because of that, my next book will be on my own, and it's going to be called How to Get to Your Happy. That's
awesome. I think it's a great thing when you find something that you become passionate about it, and you don't allow obstacles to stop you from moving into those areas.
Right.
So my next question is, with all those things that's going on in your retirement, what would you say has been your greatest impact to your life and your mindset right now?
I think the greatest impact to my life is the focus on health. I think that once you're out of out of the workforce, but you can still be in the workforce, the focus should be on your health. Mm-hmm. So I feel with all the great things that I'm doing, I really focus on eating right and exercising. And I have an exercise class that I teach, and it's called Aquaspin, where the bikes are in the water, stationary bikes. And it was like, I love this.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about that, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been an Aquaspin instructor it'll be 5 years in December. I love it because it's for any type of person, regardless of whether you're really overweight or if you're thin, if you have knee problems, it's no excuse. And some women say, "Oh, I want to get my hair wet." Well, your hair's not going to get wet because the water only comes up to your to your chest area. So I just love aqua spin. It's a great way to get fit.
Awesome, awesome. Whether it be your writing, your entrepreneurship, but really kind of specifically your acting, thinking about the artist part of you, how do you prepare your mindset for the different characters that you have to play?
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, the way I prepare myself is I focus on my objective. I focus on what I want to gain. I think about the character and I usually think about a backstory for the character. So therefore I can get into that person. And more importantly, I have to make sure that I focus on the lines. That's very important. Memorization, because once you memorize everything, then you can, play with it, manipulate the lines, manipulate what you want the character to say. But you have to have an objective.
Okay. So, let's see what I want to think. I want to talk about how you interact with the producer, the other actors. There are different mindsets. Sometimes the actress have a hard time taking the direction. Not saying that they're not listening to. Well, sometimes they're not. And I, being a filmmaker, being a producer, and all that, I interact with different. Some want to listen to your advice. Right. When you say, like, I give you a character and you have a different idea or a different spin on it, how would you approach me as a filmmaker, as a producer, on how to kind of make adjustments to that character? Say, like, if you thought you had a better way to do it, how would you approach me? Say, like, if I gave you a character now and you read it, you looked over, you say, hey, I think this might change this and make it this much better.
Right.
How would you approach me?
Well, the way that I would approach you is once I, had everything together on my part as far as memorization and how I viewed the character, then I would just take you off to the side and say, well, this is the idea that I had. What do you think about this for if it's Sheila? What do you think about, I see Sheila this way. I appreciate, what you have to say, and also can you see the benefit of me playing her this way? It would be a collaboration.
And that's a good thing. So, what I do, I be sneaky sometimes. What I do is where the goal is to entertain the guests, our viewing audience, but it's also to educate them. And sometimes it's to educate one another.
Right.
So, and I have that uniqueness. We have that uniqueness in that we have different roles that we play in. Like, I've been an actor first, right? A lot of producers don't understand the actor.
Right.
All they want the actor to do is to show up, have the lines, and go. They don't want to have to tell you how to act, so they don't know how to pull certain things out of you. Right? So for me, if you approach me like that, I would receive it. I'll think about it, because I have the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Right? And if it fits, I'll go with it. But if I don't like it, you got to be able to accept it and not, get in your feelings. Right. And move on. But one of the suggestions, and I know a lot of, even me when I was starting out, a lot of actors, they don't read the whole script. Right. They just read their lines, right? Especially if you have a role. Exactly. And the problem is, if you don't understand how all these characters come together and then where it's going, it's hard to make those adjustments. Right. Plus, if you made that suggestion and it didn't work out because you got shot later. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. So just little tips, right? But how can well, before I say that, from your entrepreneurship, I haven't talked about that. Oh, right. Tell me about that. Yeah, well, for me, again, back to health, I found that CBD products, cannabinoid products are very healthy, and especially in this time of COVID-19, it has been proved to be an immune blocker. So it helps a COVID blocker, so it boosts your immune system. Okay. And it helps with anxiety, weight loss. It helps with quite a few things, and it just goes in combination with how I feel about health. It's a healthy, natural product that can benefit people. So what's next for you?
What's next for me is I'm going to be working with June DeGasso.
June DeGizo. Master June DeGizo.
Yeah, Master June DeGizo on To Live and Die in Washington, D.C. Yeah.
That's my buddy. He's been on the show at least 3 times.
Oh, I'm sure. He's great. He's great. Yeah.
He always tell me, it's no longer June DeGizo because I don't do the martial arts. I said, how long you been filmmaking? And he'll tell me, I said, it's Master June.
Oh, okay.
Because you've switched what you're a master of now. Yeah. All right, so how can our viewing audience follow you on social media or whatever platforms you have?
Well, I'd love to have the audience follow me on my website, which is KathiMuhammad.com, and it's KathiMuhammad.com. And also you can follow me on Instagram at Kathi Connects, which is Kathi is spelled KathiConnets.
Awesome.
Yes.
So that's going to do it for this particular guest. I have another guest coming that's going to join us. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the time goes by quickly.
It does. Yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll be back with another guest.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine, and I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, kitty cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Welcome back to the show, KZR Spotlight of the Month, and I'm here also with my next guest, the incredible Miss Tamika Joy. She's a songwriter, she's a vocalist, and I just found out she's an author too. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
So now, tell me, I'm gonna just go right into it.
Oh, come on.
Tell me how you got into the entertainment industry.
Oh, I think the year was 1993. I was coming back from Maryland. I lived in Maryland with my grandfather, going into my high school year, and I met a girlfriend, and we clicked instantly and found out, we both sang and could create this beautiful harmony. And my uncle, who plays drums, he was playing for Intro at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Uncle, I need you. We got something. So he came and got us and took us to the studio, and I've had the bug ever since.
Yeah, you get bit. Folks don't get it they don't understand until they get it. Your talent management also, or you manage artists?
I do. My daughter, my son. My daughter's a singer, actor. My son is a DJ. Okay. And I do a lot of consultation. I wouldn't call it management. I do consultation. Okay.
Yes. I knew that was somewhere in there. I just wanted to bring that out.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been doing it?
Since 92, 93.
So you're a veteran. All right.
I guess you could call it that.
So music is an incredible tool.
Yes.
And they can motivate, they can change things. How has music helped you out in I want to say, what is one defining moment in your career as a vocalist where the music has brought you to a certain point in your thinking as far as your career?
That's really good. That has really been, that question still stands, so to speak, because I've had a lot of ups and downs when it comes to the music as an artist.
That makes you a good writer, right?
I'm good. Yes. And so I was signed to some labels, and I've had management that has put me in situations to where they didn't want to manage me unless I was in relationships with them. I've been in relationships that have tried to stop me from escalating into my career. And so it has brought me in a lot of places in regards to making the decision as well as a parent and wanting to just raise my children and not worry about the craziness that comes along with it, trying to really press through or feel like I got to bow down because it's, a predominantly male, situation there. So I at this point, I feel like it's still
You mean the
defining.
blackball thing?
Oh yeah, I've been blackballed and all that, whatever you want to call it. I have. My ex was in the music industry, so he kind of did what he felt like he had to do at the time. But it is what it is. It really has defined me to continue to just kind of put my blockers on and go. One would do this, and when it comes to me and the music, I can say I've been more of a help to others and being an inspiration, being a consultation, giving consultation to other aspiring artists, helping them along the way so they wouldn't have to go through some of the things that I had to go through. And I feel like, I've won a lot of ways on that journey. But I'm not done yet. I'm still going to jump out there eventually.
I don't see no gray hairs or anything. So you're far from it. But I was just thinking, and thinking about that, I was watching one of the unsung heroes, or if you will, Stacey Lattisaw.
Yes.
Coming up, and I had a crush on her, by the way.
Beautiful. She's beautiful.
Well, met her and all that. But she got out of the industry just as the music videos was transitioning because, she did the little steps and they didn't like working with her. They wanted her to be more sexual in her performances.
Of course.
And she refused to do it.
That's right.
So she got blackballed as a result of that. Now she's doing gospel.
Yes.
So,
that would
you
be me.
you redefine yourself.
That's
right?
it. That's it. That's where I'm at. I love my R&B, but I know my purpose now, in which at the end of the day, it's almost like that was my purpose. I just didn't see it. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. I want to do my will, but it's always his will.
You recently got into a little acting also, didn't you?
I did. Yes, I love it. I love it.
All right,
It's been my friend. I had a part at the MGM. That was the first production that we did, The Giz.
It was a good witch.
Go Music. I was a good witch.
I saw that.
Yeah, we had a great time. And I've been doing little small things here and there for many years, a couple of commercials or different things like that. But for the most part, I love it.
You kind of end up in this restaurant scene also.
Yes.
Zeke the Awakening.
I'm ready for it. We had a great time. I cannot wait. Yep. I played, because, when you perform, and you're acting.
Correct.
When you get on that stage, it's lights, camera, action. So
That's going to bring me to my next question. As an artist, how do you prepare mentally before you go on set?
I need my quiet, blessed pieces. I need my quiet, my blessed peace, my one moment with God where I thank Him for the gifts that He has given me. And I ask Him to just allow the Spirit to just talk and pour out those things that I've been blessed with. And I don't want any distractions. I just need a moment.
Well, Satan is going to bring his best first.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to know which one's
That's
coming
it.
your way.
Yeah, because you feed off the energy and all that. So it's like you gotta, pray and just ask, for those blockers and all the, like you said, the enemy coming in and trying to distract you, because it's a mental thing when you're performing as well. You have to remember songs or lyrics or words as acting your script and things like that. So it's always a mental thing. Yeah.
I'll tell you a little experience I had talking about that. So I was singing also, right? I used to sing a lot for the church, different places, and there was this almost, and I knew the lines and all that, the song, but sometimes the very last 2 or 3 minutes, it was like if I start questioning the lines, I would immediately lose the first 2 verses. It would immediately go away. And I was up there on stage, and I was going, and I couldn't remember the second line, and I started thinking to myself, and they thought I was crying. I wasn't crying.
But
so they were like, "Bring it, brother." I was like, "Oh."
That's all you got to start doing when you don't. Hey, you a professional already. Didn't even know you was a professional. That's what you're supposed to do when you don't remember the words. You got to break down.
I would always put a word that was appropriate. It may have been the word. They didn't know the song. They didn't know the song. But I would work it out. Right?
Yes.
So you get those little challenges.
Yes. That's what makes you, different from the rest of them, when you can, keep going in spite of.
Oh, I never quit. I never stopped.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, with what I just said, next question. Has there ever been a time in your career where you've honestly considered quitting?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm still quitting. Not necessarily quitting. I always try to get myself out of it, but I've always end up jumping back in it some way, somehow. I'm quitting every other day. That's what that basically. Let's say that, but I'm always finding my way back because it's my love. It's definitely something that I love to give. I love to do. I don't see me doing anything else. So, yeah.
They say one way to determine what you're supposed to be doing is to think about the thing that you can do the easiest without even thinking about it, without any effort at all.
Yes.
And a lot of times that's singing. I've done it. It's been interesting. I've done it for a period of time. I did it for like 14 years, right? Went all the way to Moscow doing it.
Okay.
But then I transitioned into acting and some other things. Life brings you in different directions. I still get questions or invitations to go and do it. I know this one pastor, I can't go to his church, to hide in the back without him calling me up, so I always make sure I'm ready. I tell him I come, I'm always going to be ready because I know he's going to pull me on stage for something.
Right.
Tell us about the projects you're working on now.
Oh, I'm working on of course, the book is coming out in the fall. It is an anthology book of, I think it's about 12 of us, women. It's called Walking in Excellence.
Okay.
And what we had to do was basically pick a verse out of Proverbs 31 that speaks to us and who we are. And so with that, we have our own chapter.
Okay.
And Dr. Tashika Green is the visionary. And we are the contributing authors. So I'm looking very forward. This is my first one. I'm looking forward to it. And in spite of that, I'm actually also, for my pre-sale, I'm giving away a CD. So I'm working on some music right now. And, of course, I created with this pandemic, and I'm always taking sea moss and all these other natural herbs and roots and stuff. I started a business underneath my mom's name. I lost her 3 years ago. So I started a business called Tammy Lynn Sea Moss, where we infuse it with fruit. And it's a gel that you take once or twice a day. with a teaspoon and your water or coffee or whatever you want to take it, and just keep your immune system up. It builds and helps with your skin, upper respiratory, diabetes, you name it. It's definitely a great minerals, but that's what it basically is.
That's cool. I'd actually just ordered, start taking rather, CMOS supplement. Along with some other things.
How you feeling? Feeling good?
I'm feeling good now. There's a couple of adjustments I have to make, but I have to figure out what's going on. I'm good.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely great to take, especially with this COVID thing, and building your immune system up and being prepared for it when it does, and if it does hit you, you have some things going on that's going to keep you from it shifting in the hospital mode.
Right. So, what advice from a veteran would you give an aspiring or up-and-coming artist that's trying to break into the industry, but you also want to give them some safeguarding place things to look out for?
Well, I would say don't quit your day job.
Starving artist?
I would say never give up.
Correct.
And I would say do your research in regards to the business, more so of the craft, because it's more business than it is of your craft. That's just something that everybody brings to the table. The business aspect is the more important. So make sure you read them contracts and start from the back.
Listen, every time I talk somewhere, regardless of what interview I'm doing, I always tell, especially if it's this industry, I always tell them there's the creative side and there's the business side.
Right.
And you can't just be all saturated with the creative,
Right.
because you're going to get ripped off.
That's it.
On the business side at some
That's
point.
it. You can't, think that your talent is, that you can't be that cocky that that it's just,
You'd be surprised how cocky some people
trust me, I've seen it all. But I've tried to tell some of the people that I talk with and on a daily basis, work on reading over the business.
Okay. Last question. How can people find you on social media? How can they follow you?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, ITS Tamika _Joy. And you can go to my website, www.tamikajoy.com. That'll kind of tell you everything. A little bit about me, who I am, and, just also can find the other plugs. But Facebook, Tamika Joy. And, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being our special guest.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. That's going to do it for this edition of KZAR Spotlight of the Month. Join us next time as we spotlight another artist.
Always a pleasure working with you.
So let's just jump right into it, because we're going to bring in some other folks, and we want to make sure that you get your information out.
Sure.
A lot of information. So the acting part. How'd you get into acting?
Never intended to be an actor.
None of us do.
Never. My past is a retired police officer, did 20 years, most of my career federal narcotics, on a federal narcotics task force. Retired in 2004. Back in the 80s, I was a big-time bodybuilder and competitive, and was slated back then to go pro, but then I got on the police department, couldn't compete anymore. It was kind of hard back then, especially working undercover. And then when I retired, I got back into the competitive field of bodybuilding with the National Physique Committee, and from there I started competing again.
KZAR Spotlight of the Month. So happy to have Chris Kennedy here with us, gracing us with his presence today. I'm excited.
Thanks.
It's
Thanks.
so-
I'm glad to be here.
So great to meet you. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how we got you here today?
Well, I'm a welder by trade, and I'm a shop supervisor for a company that's maybe 50 years old, and I like to do acting on the side. It's like my hobby.
Okay. And I know that you're a veteran actor. How long have you been acting?
I say about 10 years, maybe 11 years.
How did that get started?
Well, I was on my way home one day from work, and I heard a radio announcement about auditions, acting auditions.
Thankful for my guest co-host that was here earlier. She did a magnificent job. And we're here today also with our last guest for this segment, Miss Jennifer Galencia.
That's it.
All right, if I got that wrong, she'll correct me.
Jalencia, that's
welcome to the
it.
show, ma'am. So tell us a little bit about yourself real quick. Well, not real quick, but tell us a little bit about what you do. I know you're all over the place as far as the entertainment industry.
Yes.
Talk to us.
Well, my background, as I was sharing with you, I'm a singer, dancer, choreographer, model, so to speak, a pageant queen. And why I say so to speak is because I've done these
I was going to
things.
ask you, how do you, so to speak, a model?
And I would tell you why.
Talk to me.
Because the trajectory of my career has taken a turn.
Okay.
So I'm now using my art to serve humanity.